My wife thinks that I have an authoritarian problem. I don't know, I think it's more a refusal to conform. There's always another way. It doesn't matter if people say it's impossible or not. There's always a way.
Nu skriker de från fönstret. Nu skriker...
The first time I picked up a camera was in a special ed class. I guess that's impacted what stories I'm drawn to. It was chaotic, like Dangerous Minds. No, seriously, exactly like Dangerous Minds.
Åh.
I want to develop my films to a stage where it's undeniable how great they are. But every time I start a new project, I'm forced to sell it before it's been developed to something that people can understand. I want to be more playful when I make my films. I want to not decide on things too early so that they can become less predictable.
I feel like I owe it to myself to find a different way to tell stories. I don't know how, but I refuse to let the zombies at traditional media kill my love for making films.
Sometimes people reach a threshold. In running, there are even two. First, you reach your aerobic threshold. This is when your running goes from conversational to just wanting to carry out a few short sentences.
Andre is exhausted.
At this stage, your body can still push through oxygen through your blood.
How are you feeling?
Exhausted. Should have bought a beer or something.
But then, when you reach your anaerobic threshold, you start to run out of oxygen, and you can't really breathe. If you continue that for long enough, your body eventually shuts down. But most give up long before that.
I feel like this happened as I got increasingly into the film industry.
I don't have any calf muscles. It's hard to hike and run mountains then.
But just as with running, you take a short break, then you can continue almost fully recovered.
So nice.
I did that for many years, and eventually, the stress built up so much that I hated making films. To make a great film,
You need to discover a great story.
you need a timely topic. You need a unique angle. You need a strong character and conflict. What you don't necessarily need is a great camera.
Yet people tend to obsess about the gear, losing sight of the true essence, the story.
Sure, Netflix may have a list of approved cameras, but the rules don't mean a thing. The filmmakers who inspired me the most were the ones who went against the grain, rebels in the industry. Robert Rodriguez funded his film through pharma experiment. Roy Andersson faced countless rejection and had to create advertisement to support his movies. Ruben Östlund even took out a bank loan for his first feature.
Everybody refused to accept what the industry told them they should do. Ruben Östlund still puts 1 year of editing into his films, and the industry doesn't let him. But he adapted his way of making films to support that. He refuses Hollywood money to make his films the way he believes they should be made. I've known this since I started my filmmaking career, but I've forgotten about it.
Everything with us?
Yeah, I think so. Early morning.
I forgot how people got to where they ended up, like how they got to make the films they wanted. They made it possible by adapting to the situation.
Now we just gotta find the trail, right?
Yeah.
The main priority is not having a good living and all those things. That comes, perhaps, but the focus is to create great art, and all that other stuff comes with it. Let me tell you a story.
When everyone obsessed over the release of the first Alexa, I turned the other way. I picked up my Canon 5D Mark III and ventured to Uganda to tell a story I was curious about. Alright guys, I'm in Uganda right now, shooting the documentary The Pearl of Africa, but I'm also here teaching journalists how to shoot with their mobile phones. To help fund my film, I applied for a grant to teach journalists how to make films in Uganda. This is how you need to be creative with realizing your films. And you know what my filmmaker friends did? They kept making beautiful ads. They probably made more money than me, but I did sell my film to Netflix. And they kept asking me, how did I do it?
I wanted to say because I made it on a shitty camera, but nobody would have listened. Everybody wants a simple hack, anything but hard work. I had to go through so many struggles to make that film. Yet I didn't look at them as a problem or as a struggle at all. I just continued towards my goal of making my film and pursuing my passion. But if you want to make a film, then gear doesn't matter.
Oh wait, it actually does.
Backpack, I'm gonna have that one on my back. It's a vest, running vest, and then this one, small waist pack. I have that as well, and then this is gonna be in the car. Before talking about the gear, I want to let you know that I can help you fix your story so that you can sell your film to Netflix and other platforms. After this video, check out the description or go to learndocumentary.com if you need help making your dream film. Recently I was filming runners on volcanoes.
Wish me luck.
That demanded a different type of camera package.
Crazy.
So magic!
Check that out. That is so freaking nice.
What truly matters is staying true to your vision.
This comes from someone who used to be a photographer and cinematographer. I love cameras.
So I actually have a drone, a Pocket 4K with a 105L series Canon lens, and a Osmo SE and an iPhone with me. That's my gear. That's what I'm gonna film with. Mavic 2 Pro or whatever it's called. That's it.
Look at this hole.
Yeah, so nice. You can never create something extraordinary if you conform to the rest of the world. Be different. Dare to stay true to yourself, even when people hate what you're doing. My early films lacked storytelling because I refused to accept the conventional 3-act structure or traditional storytelling techniques. I wanted my movies to delve deeper beyond that of the traditional ones, to discover something more meaningful than the predictable films I kept seeing. Refusing to conform led me to explore alternative ways of storytelling. It was a bumpy road though, but eventually I understood the importance of structure. I had to conform if I wanted to work within the traditional media. But hear me out. I didn't do it to conform. I learned those rules to outsmart them. When you create, you have to believe in your vision. That's what sets your story apart. Believe that there's something special in there because there is. Just because you face rejection doesn't mean it's a bad idea. It's quite the opposite. In pitch meetings, people would compliment how great my films look, but they kept asking, but where's the story? Story? I'd think to myself. To me, it was obvious what the story was. Now, I need to explain this. In traditional media, most people are like zombies. They mindlessly follow what everybody else does. They copy what works, and then they're celebrated for it being innovative. I can tell you that they know nothing. They fail a lot.
And that is on other talented filmmakers' expenses, you and me.
Executives at networks rarely see any consequences because it can always be blamed on the filmmaker. So if you want these people to trust your weird and unconventional ideas, you have to present them in a safe way.
So what does this have to do with gear?
The greats didn't start with gear in mind. They didn't become masters by buying the latest camera or winning the lottery.
Du tänkte på allt, pappa!
They took one step forward and faced obstacles until they succeeded. In the context of the traditional system.
That's their biggest asset. You have to do that if you want to be a great storyteller. In that midst of despise for the industry, though, what more importantly carried them through was passion.
Det är någon som skriker. Det är någon som skriker.
Du, gå och lägg dig nu.
When you have passion, you don't care about others' opinions or the lack of funding. Passion separates the brave storytellers from those who simply chase illusions. Without passion, you're likely to give up or move on to the next idea. But those fueled with passion will see their projects through, even if it means failure or not having the best gear.
Think about when you want to buy something. The desire, it builds up. You research and you anticipate.
The longing gets bigger and bigger.
But once you have it, that craving vanishes.
Passion works the same way.
So windy, but it's gonna be nice.
Filmmakers must embrace this understanding because passion will carry you through the tough times.
And trust me, there will be tough times.
If you combine that passion with a love for failing, then you unlock greatness. You need to fail to grow.
So I challenge you to take up a smartphone, anyone that has a camera. Try to tell a story that is worth watching on that. And you know you have a great story if people want to watch it. Tell a story on an Alexa, and you might just have a polished turd. Question of the day. If you want your question answered, ask me anything below. How do you find the right people team for your project? Firstly, I need to say this. Every time you focus on other resources that you don't have, it's just like with gear, another reason you might not take the steps necessary to make your film. Ever since I started filmmaking, I've been with a belief that you need to be able to make the film with the resources that you have at the time. So if that means making a film alone, I would do that. If you're bad at something, take time to learn it. This way of thinking will make it much more probable that your film will be made. That said though, don't be afraid to contact local film schools or universities, or apply to a film school or university, or be part of the program that I have on learndocumentary.com, where you can also interact with other filmmakers, or use the comments section in this video to connect with other filmmakers. You can find talent eager to work on meaningful projects for free or at a minimal cost in these spaces, where people are passionate. Secondly, utilize social media platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram to advertise your project and connect with individuals who share your vision. There's also filmmaking sites where you can do this. Thirdly, attend film festivals and networking events. You never know who you might encounter there. This is how I've connected to a lot of the global filmmaking network that I have. It's through film festivals or film markets, which is also a great place to connect with filmmakers. I remember when I first went to Cannes, it was one of the most mind-boggling networking events, and I didn't expect that to happen. I was just there to show my film. But you party with so many people and you hang out and, you connect. It's great. I love that with the festivals. Fourthly, consider remote collaborations with people worldwide. I've tried this as well, and the technology has made it much, much easier to do that. Especially editing is possible nowadays. Finally, don't forget about word-of-mouth recommendations. Sometimes the best people for the job are the ones that you already know. If you want to know more about how I made my documentary The Pearl of Africa, which sold to Netflix, and it was done on a shoestring budget, then check out this video.